Well, Sandra, Charlie Kirk's alleged assassin has a court hearing next week, and his lawyers want to exclude video of the murder happening. They claim it would violate his right to a fair trial.
Why on earth should this outstanding video evidence be excluded from the juror's view?
For more on this, we are joined by Andy McCarthy, a Fox News contributor and former assistant U.S. attorney. Andy, always great to see you. Thanks for coming on this afternoon.
Bill, how are you?
Good. So I'm looking forward to getting your thoughts here. So this hearing next week, it's not on the merits of the case. It's the defense trying to get a county prosecutor off the case because they feel there's a conflict of interest because that prosecutor has a child who goes to Utah Valley University. So they're saying showing this video of the murder during that hearing about a conflict of interest is irrelevant, it's graphic, and it would potentially alienate future jurors. Do they have a point here?
Nope, they do not. Why on earth should jurors be impeded from watching such outstanding video evidence based on the bananas argument claiming that this defendant will not get a fair trial? Huh? And for your information, Mr. Lawyer, this video was already broadcasted and watched by the whole planet.
Well, they have a point, Bill, in the sense that it's not really necessary for the judge to view that video in the context of deciding whether the prosecutor has to be removed because he's got a daughter who may have been either at the school or in the audience. I don't think that's a very good reason to dismiss a prosecutor. If they were worried that a juror's family member were at the school or in the audience, that would be a different thing.
Right.
But there's no requirement that prosecutors may be biased in favor of prosecution. So that it's kind of, I think I wouldn't say it's a frivolous motion. A defense lawyer is obviously going to make it. If we were talking about suppressing the videotape in connection with the trial, that would be ridiculous. But in connection with this hearing, the judge may not need to see it to decide that narrow issue.
Yeah, and here's a little bit more on the motion the defense filed here. It says in part, quote, "Nothing about the motion or the state's opposition necessitates the viewing of the moments just before or the moment of Mr. Kirk's death and the captured audio in order to reach a legal conclusion about the existence of that actual or apparent and unwaivable conflict of interest." They go on to say that the video is, quote, "graphic and highly disturbing." So, Andy, to your point, they're not saying the video can't be played during the actual trial. They just don't think it's relevant for this hearing here. Your thoughts?
Absurd. The grand jury must watch it.
And it may be, Bill, that, if the prosecutors think about it, it's going to be difficult enough to select a jury in this case. So they may not want to be in a position of being depicted as sort of overemphasizing this video before we even get to the jury trial and creating a bunch of publicity that makes it a little harder to pick a jury. But look, this is a horrific murder, and there's no way to sanitize it into a way that it's not a horrific murder. And when it gets down to trial, the government is entitled to prove its case.
That is exactly right. End of the story.